DJ on the beat.
Never taking no L's if the team with me on the road. Never taking no L's with steady as ego.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. How are you, Bill? How's it going?
Ian, it's going great. Nice to be with you again.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great week. First official week of Tokenmetrics being live. We're glad to be back. We have lots of amazing things to share with you guys today, and we're just excited. So first thing first, shout outs. So let's see who was first on the live stream. Okay, people are saying they can't hear. Anybody having issues with the audio? Let me know. Hopefully we don't have any issues. Okay, hold on. Just give me 1 second. Let me see if anybody else is having issues. Maybe it's an audio glitch on our end. Give me 1 second. Okay, Barry says he can hear fine. Okay, Barry says he can hear. Okay, yeah. So Barry can hear fine. So maybe somebody else was just maybe some audio issues on their end. But yes, so first up on the show, hey Barry. Barry was first. Glad to see you here. Crypto Beam, how are you? Ryan Niams, 2020 will become millionaires. That's the dream. That's the goal. Everybody becomes millionaire to the moon and beyond. Get Me Cash, how are you? E-Dog, Business Minds, Ryan Niams, Kim, hey Kim, Victor in the house. How are you, brother? How's Nigeria? Hope everything's going good with the exchange. Keep it X. Samir, Alice, hey Alice, how are you? Glad to have you in Tokemetrics Professional. Audio is all good. And then Bill, how about you? How's the week so far?
Well, like you said, it's nice to be in business. It's nice to be live, interacting with clients. We wish we could get a little bit more out of this crypto market, but it's definitely good to be, working directly with our clients.
Awesome. So give the whole world an intro on yourself.
All right.
Usual.
So my primary professional skill is taking this much information about markets and distilling it down to something that you can read on your phone or something that's easy to understand. All right. I did that during like the financial crisis and all types of things at Goldman Sachs for 12 years. I did it for retail investors at Charles Schwab. And I did it for Charlie Shrem's crypto group. That's how I kind of broke into the business. And now I'm here rocking it with Ian and Tokemetrics.
And we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And then most people on here know me. I'm Ian Bellina. I'm founder of Tokemetrics, also partner at 100x Advisors, which is a blockchain investment and advisory firm. Check us out at 100xadvisors.com. Prior to that, I worked at IBM for 4 years and also worked at Deloitte Consulting as an IT consultant. And we're glad to have you here. All right, so first question of the day, go to menti.com, that's MENTI.com, and use the code 79956. That's 79956. This is a question being posed by Bill. What was your profit loss in 2019, this year? Did you, one, lose more than 10,000 US dollars? Did you lose a lot less than 10,000 US dollars? Or did you make less than 10,000 US dollars investing in crypto? Or did you make more than 10,000 US dollars investing in crypto? This is a question we're very curious to see the answer to. So go to menti.com, MENTI.com, put in the code 79956 and tell us. Also, be sure to tell us in the comments below as well if you made more than 10K, less than 10K. And yeah, so what's your take on this, Bill?
Well, the reason I think this is interesting is because it could be a great gauge as to whether or not people are going to chase alts into the end of the year, right? So if you're kind of like lost 10,000 and you see Matic going up, you're like, hey, maybe I can get all my money back if I just FOMO into this. So basically we're using it as a FOMO meter.
And I think it's very good you actually bring up Matic Network, because Matic Network, for anybody who's subscribed to tokemetrics.com, anybody on the hodler plan and above, meaning hodler, investor, and professional, we sent out our first premium newsletter, and Matic Network was one of the cryptocurrencies on there that we were bullish on. I think we had, 5 coins on there? We had Matic, we had Cosmos, and some others. And Matic is doing pretty well. And we've been in Matic for over 12 months. We basically discovered Matic before anybody did, all the way in India. We're there in person, met the team, and it's great to see them really kind of grow up and become a darling for people in crypto. But for us to really discover them so early, and now everybody else is trying to chase it. But I think that's really shows the value in having people who go to extreme lengths to find great projects early on before anybody, even the experts, are in. All right. So what's your take on the market right now, Bill?
All right. Well, as much fun as what we're having with Matic, we're not having fun with the rest of it, right? Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're giving us this like lull you to sleep drill, which we've seen before. And we're concerned that that's a prelude to either something going wrong or people are just frozen in their tracks for the rest of the year. So, we think the action is somewhere else other than Bitcoin for the moment.
Okay, so the title of today's stream is really helping people figure out the year-end plan for crypto.
Right.
So what do you think somebody should start if they're looking to wrap up the year strong?
Okay. So, all right. So let's say you're a big player or you're a really small player. Now, I would take steps to make sure like you can use BitMEX or futures, particularly for the big players. I would protect your Bitcoin holdings with some type of hedge, right? If Bitcoin starts going up and I'm wrong and you miss the first leg, you'll have time to jump in, right? But in the meantime, I think there are risks out there. We might show the headline later. The New York Post came out with an article that said Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are a threat to U.S. national security. Now, you might say, well, that's just FUD, but it opens it up to somebody saying something on the news that could trigger a decline in Bitcoin. So we want people who are big to be safe so that their powder's dry in 2020. For smaller players, I think the message is simple. Don't invest money if you can't look at it go down 20%, right? So you want your head to be clear going into 2020. So what does that mean? Okay. So if you're tempted to pay $7,600 for Bitcoin, ask yourself if you can afford to hold on if it goes to 5,000. If the answer is no, stay tuned with Token Metrics, hang out with us, and then we'll tell you when it's go time.
I think sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so I think let's go back to our question of the day. Hold on, let me just pull this up here to make sure we. Okay, so once again, go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 79956 to submit your question or answer. And the question was, what was your profit loss for 2019? So let's see what people say. Lost less than 10,000 US dollars. Okay, so not too bad, not too bad. We're glad nobody lost more than 10,000 US dollars in 2019. I mean, that would have been catastrophic. But 2019 has definitely been rough. But if most people were holding some Bitcoin, that definitely did boost up their portfolio. And there were some nice wins. There was Chainlink, a project recovered all the way back in 2017. They'd have a nice year this year. All right. What's your take on this, Bill?
Okay. So the good news is I think we've got people who, probably bought Bitcoin above 6,000 or 7,000 and then, or even higher, and then got washed out. So they meant well. They wanted to jump in. But they were just what I would call a year early, right? I think the FOMO year is going to be next year. So, the good news is our audience is enthusiastic. They're willing to take risk, and, they've still got enough capital to be in the game and with us on the research front.
Right. Now, to add to that, so for people on tokenmetrics.com, we did send out an email saying this month we're not so bullish on the end of December, but in 2020 we're very optimistic. 2020 we think could really be the start of something big, because we feel like all the different forces have been coming into alignment, and with the Bitcoin halving and so many other big companies now really getting into the space, this becomes the year we think in terms of 2020 for things to really take off. So can you kind of speak to that, Bill, in terms of the email we put out?
Oh, sure. I mean, first of all, there's the U.S. election, right? There is going to be a lot of social and economic volatility in the United States next year. Okay, now, this is not a political talk show. Those are Sunday morning. We do the Sunday night show. So I'm not going to go into all that. But I really think that politicians could take the following stance. They could say, our money is our money, and your money is our money. Okay? And there is also this odd impeachment process going on, which is, the current administration is considered capital markets friendly. Okay. So if you put all this together, I did notice on Token Metrics that one of our automated filters picked up Monero as doing well, technically. And I think the way I would read that is that, someone out there is doing something that's tripping our algorithms, and someone out there is looking for privacy, right? And I think this is a hint that you're looking at maybe a little bit of a problem in 2019, but a huge boom in 2020, right? Because people are going to want alternative money as social, economic, and political unrest really hits the 6 o'clock news.
I mean, I think we've kind of seen this start to happen in lots of different countries, from Venezuela to Hong Kong, the unrest in Hong Kong. I think Hong Kong is going through its first recession in over 10 years. And that's huge because Hong Kong is one of the world's biggest financial capitals of the world. I mean, as somebody who's been to Hong Kong twice, this year and last year, it's definitely a huge place to go to for business and for a big, so Bloomberg this week put out a survey or article saying Hong Kong was the most visited city in the world. So to put it in perspective, the most visited city in the world, it has a lot more visitors than New York, than Paris, than any other place in the world, is going through its first recession in over 10 years and has lots of political unrest. I think that is huge, because this really takes us back to Wall Street with Occupy Wall Street. And that was kind of like one of the first signs of everything changing in the finance world and just with the whole global economy. And I think the same thing is really happening with what's going on in Hong Kong.
Sure. And don't forget the yellow vests in France, right? These are...
what's that? I missed that one.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of protests in France when they raised fuel prices, right? That was in the news for a while. It became old news because it dragged on and it didn't have cool YouTube videos like Hong Kong did, where guys were doing like Bruce Lee drop kicks on riot police. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, no, that was incredible. So Hong Kong got a lot of attention, and your point is well taken. I've been there. I looked around. I'm like, does it rain money here? This is incredible, right? Okay. I feel like I'm underdressed. So,
Now we do have a question or comment here from Adam Sam on YouTube. Okay. He's saying crypto is dead. Stop throwing money at it. Nobody knows what is happening next. We've been saying the same thing in 2018 and 2019. Well, I mean, that's partially true to what Adam is saying. Yes, I would say from perspective, if you're looking at just the high level, somebody could say crypto is dead. But if you take a more granular view and look at the right things, you can see crypto is actually on the way up. So number of Bitcoin wallets has increased. All the different projections from the World Economic Forum saying in 10 years, they believe that, by 2027, 10% of the global GDP will be in tokenized assets, from the Royal Bank of Scotland the Royal Bank of Canada saying that they believe crypto can become a almost $10 trillion market. So based on the World Economic Forum and based on the Royal Bank of Canada, crypto in its current market cap still has room for over 40x returns. The market cap right now, based on projections from the World Economic Forum and the Royal Bank of Canada, basically institutions, they believe crypto still has room to grow. And 2018 was not such a bad year. Yes, it was bad for most people, but we think people could still have made money in 2018, even in 2019. And in 2018, for those who were still doing some ICOs, there were still some good ICOs. There was Loom Network, 20X did very well. I mean, there were still some good projects, even this year. For those who got into Matic Network did over 15x. Even for those who are doing some Binance IEOs, Elrond, those who did Chainlink on exchanges. So yes, the number of ways to make money has dwindled, but the opportunities are still there. You just have to be early. You have to do your research. You have to be very, very knowledgeable because it's become more competitive. So crypto is not dead, because just look at Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin in the beginning of the year was around 3,000. Bitcoin went to 14,000. Now it's at 7,000. Bitcoin is still up. So the biggest cryptocurrency out there has made money this year. So if you've not made money on that, then that means you have room for improvement in your investment strategy. And that's why we're here. That's why we're all here to help everybody, to help each other, to make money, and more importantly, not lose money. What's your take on that, Bill?
Right. Well, I completely agree. I mean, if there's something in crypto that's dead, that's probably a way of saying that people have gotten hurt, right? Because it's not like equities where you just buy it and sit with it, right? You have to have research. You have to be able to go in and out. In 2018, my attitude was GTFO and wait. You know, that's kind of how I made my name in the business to start with. You know, 2019, you needed to be an active portfolio manager, right? You needed to be long at 4,000 and then watch it go to 13 and then get out at 11 and wait. And that's tough. That sounds really easy. To get out at 11 and wait is the hardest part. So crypto is fine. Crypto investing has gotten more difficult because you need research to do it, which is why me and Ian are here to help you, right? In other words, it's like all financial markets, all big markets, treasuries, commodities, stocks, they've all gone through these periods where people are like, this is impossible. And then 5 years later, you know, anybody who could navigate it and hang on wound up making money. So, you know, don't give up on crypto. Rather, let us help you. That's how I would put it.
Yeah, I mean, don't force the trades as well. So you just keep on doing the research, and eventually something big is going to happen. And if you're there, then it can happen. Okay, so Bill, can we pull up Bitcoin charts and take a look and kind of speak to that?
Sure.
As you do that, let me take some questions here from the audience on YouTube. Hey, Costa, what's up?
Okay, so this is what I'm looking at in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So here we are. We're at 7,600. This level was important back in May here. All right. So basically, we're back at the point where everybody FOMO'd into Bitcoin in the summer. Let's put it that way. And this yellow area here represents kind of like this channel Bitcoin tried to break out of that channel right here and it failed. All right. So you're like, okay, that's nice, but now what? Well, we think the fact that Bitcoin can't get itself above this like 7,600, 8,000 area is a little bit troublesome. Okay. Stocks improved over the weekends, and we're concerned that institutions who own Bitcoin and didn't really make much money may dump it. I know last year everyone was like, oh, don't worry, the institutions will come. They'll come to Bitcoin and save us. Okay, that may be true, but this year, I think what they call the positioning is those guys might dump it, right? Because their equities portfolios did okay, and they didn't need Bitcoin kind of as a hedge. So I'm a little worried that if it doesn't go above 7,600 or say 8,000, that you could wind up testing something lower. Now, the reason I drew something lower, like 6,000 or 5,000, is for our premium members, we're doing research about the cost of production in Bitcoin and how Bitcoin can sometimes move to the cost of production in volatile times. Now, right now, 7,600 is one of those important levels. So we don't think it's an accident that it's stuck here. All right. And we're working on the research to say, if there is a big move, where will it go? Frankly, if we can say something for the live stream, my hope, our hope is that we just sit here. So, you know, if we could hedge ourselves and sit in a range and just not have to be looking on our phones on Christmas Eve and worried about where this thing is going, that would be the best case scenario. All right. But
okay,
so go ahead.
So you're saying the TA shows that this month is not so optimistic, basically.
Yeah, it's not making me want to stand up and cheer. It isn't.
Okay.
Right. It's making me think patience is better. And I also think that the altcoin bid means, and because, you know, as you mentioned, we're tracking that actively for our members. You know, people are running into altcoins, I think, to say, I think I want to get away from Bitcoin and get invested in something that's moving.
Okay. Now, I want to kind of complement what you're showing here. So I'll pull up tokenmetrics.com. Let me just
I'll stop my share there.
I don't have too many screens here. Hold on. Let me. I can just give me 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, so for anybody who's not yet joined, don't know what you guys are doing, just go to tokenmetrics.com and sign up. Everybody gets 14 free days to try it out. So right now, if we go to tokenmetrics.com and we go to the market, so looking at the top cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is still king. So if we pull up Bitcoin and we go to, so people have been asking, what's the difference between price predictions and technical analysis? So price predictions on our site gives you a 30-day price prediction. So it's more short-term, it's 1 month. While technical analysis is more of a long-term view. So the two should not be confused. So for example, if you pull up technical analysis here, this shows bullish, but this is more of a long-term view. It's not really for the trader or day trader. But if you go to price predictions for the short-term view, it's not so good as well. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's showing that Bitcoin, based on our machine learning predictions, Bitcoin is going to go down in value. So for transparency, here we have the accuracy of the model over the last 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months. Now, as usual, everything we're saying is not financial advice. This is just us showing our research. And as usual, past performance is not indicative of future results. Anything could happen. If the SEC comes out and says ban all Bitcoin, I mean, that cannot be part of the model. But we think the models are to be used as additional research to help you do your own research. And looking at this, it's basically telling us, as Bill said, sit tight. there isn't really anything right now to make somebody want to come out and buy Bitcoin over the next 1 month. Now, if you have maybe a long-term perspective, maybe you're thinking 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, okay, then the technical analysis does look good. Or maybe if you're a hodler, kind of like how my shirt says, hodl, maybe if you take everything into account, you're saying, okay, the technology is good, fundamentals are good, and the TA is showing that it's basically very, very low. Maybe this is a chance to buy the bottom, or maybe we're close to the bottom. So I think that's how those two should be used. So view the technical analysis almost as Bitcoin almost approaching the bottom for somebody to get in who has a long-term perspective, meaning they're going to hodl for a year or longer. But if you're looking at short-term perspective, just 1 month, maybe you already have Bitcoin, you're thinking, is now the time to sell and buy some holiday presents, whether Hanukkah, Christmas, or whatever, maybe now's a good time. So I think that's how those two should be used. Back to you, Bill.
Yeah. So what's good about the way we do things is I did my chart work without looking at this first, right? So, at Token Metrics, we have researching compartments, right? We'll have a machine view, a human view, and, we'll have people who look at technology. And when all of it comes together, that's when we get an idea. That's when we get the investment ideas where you can make money so that you can take advantage of the future of crypto rather than, be confused, right? Because we have, what we have is, it came to me this weekend. Token Metrics doesn't just have research. We have a research framework, right? We have a set of tools that we use. So that's a good example.
All right. So any of the projects you want to take a look at, maybe Ethereum, maybe just kind of speak to that. What's your take on Ethereum?
Okay. So, Ethereum is killing me. It really is. It's killing everybody who loves it. So, okay. So today Ethereum's in the green. That's good. Basically this is a 140 to 160 range, right? Right in here, right? That's your range in Ethereum, 140 to 160. And I think in order for this market to get going, Ethereum has to do something big. Now, if it goes through 160, that would be something big.
Now, Ethereum did launch their hard fork, the Istanbul hard fork, this week. Did that really have any impact on the price? Okay, I'm saying.
Well, I mean, there was almost no range the last 2 days, and then it's got this nice pop today. If you look at a very short-term chart, okay. So, but again, if you looked at this is an 89-minute chart, right? 89 is a number from Fibonacci and Elliott wave. Okay. Every time Ethereum kind of gets up to 152, at least in December, it's kind of petered out, right? It like makes us think it's going to go and then it doesn't. So that's why I'm using 160. It's like, I got to see something above 160 before I get excited. Right. And that's another reason why I think that, everyone's running into these altcoins. You can't get any gratification out of Bitcoin. And we covered Ethereum, Litecoin, and we covered all this stuff for our members. And, there's a reason why there's this altcoin bit. There is.
Wow. I mean, so things not looking so good for crypto for this month. And just to kind of recap, but we have to just kind of hang in there. We have to kind of just keep on looking, staying observant, because anything can change. Crypto, as we all know, moves very, very fast. Things could change just like that. Because a month ago, everybody was very optimistic when the Chinese president said, we're pro blockchain, pro crypto. So you always have to be ready.
Right. You definitely have to be ready. And, it doesn't look exciting for, say, Bitcoin, but, you know, who knows if there could be more FOMO in alts, right? We were looking at Cosmos, Matic, right? So this is discussed. This is the stuff we're discussing, for our clients.
Okay, now let's take a look here at Ethereum and in token metrics and see what we have here. So as usual, this is taking a long-term perspective. Fundamentals are still good. Technology is still amazing. The technical analysis could definitely be better, but long-term, we're still bullish on Ethereum. So that has not changed at all. But kind of what Bill said, right now, even long-term, well, not super short-term, but long-term for about a year or so, the TA shows that this is neutral, and the price predictions not so good. Now, yes, the accuracy is not perfect, but 7 out of 10 times is still pretty good accuracy. So looking at this, it's predicting the price of Ethereum to go down over the next month or so. So we definitely think now is the time to just kind of sit tight and just kind of let things come to you, let things play out. Don't FOMO in. Now is not really the time to FOMO. I think sometimes it helps to be on the sidelines because capital preservation is crucial. As Warren Buffett says, rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't lose money. All right, so let's take some questions, I think, from our audience. So once again, go to menti.com and let me give everybody the code, menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 79956. That's 79956. Actually, sorry. We did have one last question we wanted to ask our audience that I forgot to ask. So because lots of people are on the sidelines, the next question is about stablecoins, because that is something that is very helpful for people on the sidelines. So the question is, will the US government issue a stablecoin? We know China is planning to issue its own stablecoin. Lots of other governments have been talking about issuing stablecoins or cryptocurrencies. So the question is, will the US government issue a stablecoin? Very simple, yes or no. Just tell us here on menti.com and also tell us in the comments below, yes or no, whether you think the US government will issue a stablecoin. Okay, all right, so next up, okay, people are asking for altcoin analysis. Okay, so we can't cover every single altcoin, unfortunately. So rather than covering every single altcoin, we recommend just go to tokenmetrics.com and create an account, sign up. There's a 14-day trial, so really nothing to lose. Go there. We have the top 100 cryptocurrencies right now at the moment, and we are adding different cryptos as we speak. So we added some IEOs. So over here, and yes, we did add the Hex coin, which is Richard Hart's cryptocurrency. Our team has been looking into it. We plan to do a deeper dive, but it is currently in the system, as you guys can see here. Overall, it's not looking so good. I did have a almost 2-hour-long interview with Richard Hart on his YouTube channel, and I'll also be posting that video on our channel as well, on the Tokenmetrics channel, and making that available as a podcast. I mean, disclosure, I have met Richard Hart twice at 2 conferences, one in Sweden, one in Malta. He's a good guy. We get along great. I think the interview we had with him was one of the best ones out there. At least it was better than the other one by Peter McCormick, which was him just calling the project a scam and not really stating his points as to why it was a scam. Now for us, just overall, I don't think it's a scam. But I don't think it's a good investment because the two are different. People in crypto like to label everything as scam. Now for us, we're very bearish as an investment. Would I put money in it? No. But would I call it a scam? No. but we can tell you specifically why we don't like it, as opposed to just calling it a scam. Because I think calling it a scam is just ignorance. It's lazy research, because lots of projects have been called scams. Even Bitcoin and Ethereum have been called scams. Bitcoin to this day is still called scams by many. I mean, the SEC and all these other governmental agencies call cryptocurrency scams. But I think we have to really be different. We have to be smart and be able to really state our points as to why a particular project is good or bad. So that's why we've built Tokenmetrics. So if you want to know the details, just go to tokenmetrics.com, type in HEX. We have fundamental research on it. We even have a tech review. Now, right now, we're still reaching out to Richard to speak to their core developers. But to give you guys the summary, for those who didn't watch the video, just go on YouTube, type in Richard Hart, Ian Bellina. It should pop up. It's a 2-hour-long interview where I basically just grill him about the project. The main thing about the project is it's very centralized, and nobody really knows where funds are being sent to in terms of the origin address. Now, Richard Hart won't claim that it's him or his entity because he's not trying to appear like a security, but we think that's definitely a point of concern. Now, I do understand his argument that should not really be a point of concern because nobody knows Satoshi Nakamoto and the creator of Bitcoin. But I think just more from a PR perspective, because Bitcoin could do that because they were the first cryptocurrency. Now the landscape has changed drastically. Not everybody can do that. So for us, the fact that it's an anonymous development team and the history on their GitHub is mediocre at best. So our tech team does not like the initial technology because the team is anonymous. We can't really see if they're all-stars or not. And the history of that development team on GitHub is very, very mediocre or below average. Fundamentally speaking, it also has some issues. The good thing, though, it has going for it is we think the use case is valid. We think doing time-locked cryptocurrency is definitely a big use case. I mean, we've seen that in traditional finance with CDs, with a certificate of deposits. And then Richard Hart is a marketing machine. I mean, he's a marketing machine because our team, when we're looking into it, let me pull this up here. If you go to, so we have a site we use, pulling up here their web traffic. They have over 1 million visits in the last 1 month. So from October to November, they've gotten over 1 million visits. This is their site hex.win. So marketing wise, we don't doubt I mean, he's definitely an expert marketer. And that's one of the main things about any business, being able to market the business. So from a high level, people can see that, okay, this project seems very scammy looking at the website because it has lots of MLM, Ponzi scheme type, affiliate marketing type language. But you have to look past that and actually look at the project and analyze it as to why it's a bad project or it's a good project. And for us right now, at this point in time, we would not put our money in. However, there is a free claim, which to me reminds me of Bitcoin Cash. It's basically an airdrop. And I don't think there's any way anybody could lose money on an airdrop. So we can't say, okay, don't, I don't know, where is it? So for the free claim, so there was a snapshot, I think last year. Anyway, there was a snapshot at an earlier point in time. Actually, sorry, not last year. I think I have to go back and find out when the snapshot happened, but there was a snapshot at a past day in time for anybody who has Bitcoin. So anybody who has Bitcoin, so imagine you have 1 Bitcoin, you can go onto their site and get free equivalent amounts worth of hex coins for free. Now, I don't see how anybody can lose because this is, I mean, people love airdrops because the same thing happened with Bitcoin Cash. Lots of people talked badly about Bitcoin Cash, but all I know is when the snapshot happened and that fork airdrop happened on exchanges, I took the free airdrop and immediately sold that on Binance. And I never looked back since, but I still made money on it. Now, the other form of converting into Hex, where you send your Ethereum to the project's website, that I personally, I would not do. I would not touch that, because you're sending money to an unknown address. Nobody knows who controls it. It's basically an ICO. So to me, that has lots of risk. So because of that, I cannot really even encourage anybody to do that. But the free claim, I mean, it's free money, basically. So I can't really say not to do that. I mean, I personally haven't done that, but if it's free money, it's free money. But anyway, I've been rambling way too much. Back to you, Bill. Any thoughts on that, on Hex?
Well, when it comes to this, it's about doing your homework. It's about realizing that there are always still excesses in the system, right? So if these questionable projects can still pop up, okay, it can be a sign that maybe we need to wash some people out, right? It's also a sign to me that the altcoin universe is becoming one of quality over quantity. It used to be throw a dart at a board and whatever altcoin you picked would be a winner. Now the altcoin game is about quality, right? Not just charts, but you have to chart the quality ones, and you have to know which ones are quality. And the only way I know which ones are quality is to follow Ian's research, and that's how I do my work.
Yeah, well said. Okay. Do you have to leave soon, Bill, I think? Or do you have some time still?
No, I've got some time.
Some time? Okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's take some more questions here. So once again, we can't do TA or look at every single altcoin, but we definitely recommend you go check out tokenmetrics.com and put in your altcoin, and that should give you everything. Okay, so next question. Okay, so which crypto assets are you currently invested in? Very good question, very good question. So now we do have a team disclosure page for anybody who just goes to tokenmetrics.com/disclosures. You can see all the holdings of our team. So we're very transparent. I don't really know many people, especially on YouTube, who do this. So we definitely want to be transparent. Let me bring this up here so I can share this with everybody, if I can find it. Okay, here. So just go to tokenmetrics.com/disclosures. Actually, that's not the one I want. Just go here, click on disclosures. We have our team holdings. So I haven't really been buying much in crypto. I've just been focused on building token metrics. So I still have my MetaHash, Chromia. I'm an equity investor in Alchemy Network, Cody. They're now doing a Binance community vote. Resistance, not bullish on that anymore. Sparkster, I've not sold that at all because I mean the price was just practically worthless. And so basically a bunch of altcoins that got wrecked. But hey, I mean that was crypto for you. Then Bill's just Bitcoin at the moment.
Right. So I'm just, I'm keeping powder dry.
Yeah, well put. Just keeping powder dry. So not really reinvesting in anything new. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question we had here. Let me skip this one. Hold on.
Right. We never did look at our I don't know if people replied to our stablecoin question.
Oh, the stablecoin question. Okay, let me go back to that.
See if anybody voted on that.
Okay, let's take a look here. Yes, surprisingly, will the US government issue a stablecoin? People said yes. I'm surprised people said yes. Well, actually, I should not be surprised because long term, I think we should have put a time frame on this. Because without a time frame, of course, eventually when crypto goes to the moon, why wouldn't they issue a digital currency.
Right. So here's the reason why I wanted to have Ian ask the question. It's because I read something that showed it's from the Bank of International Settlements, which is a big institution, sort of like the IMF in a way. And they do a lot of research, of course. And they said that one of the challenges about governments issuing a stable coin is if you were going to use the stable coin, guess who your bank would have to be? Guess where your account would be? Your account would be with the Federal Reserve or the People's Bank of China. So the government would be your bank if the government issues a stable coin. And when I read that, I was like, wow, so nobody at a cocktail party is going to tell me that some government or even Facebook is going to issue a stable coin and that's the end of Bitcoin and crypto. It's hardly. It's the opposite. I mean, can you imagine if all the libertarians out there, or if you had to do your banking and you had to get a loan and you had to do all this stuff with the government rather than a regular bank? So I think this makes the case. If governments want to do stable coins, it actually makes the case for Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely spot on. That's spot on. Okay, let me see here. Okay, we already answered the question about Richard Hart and Hex. For the full review, just go to tokenmetrics.com. Okay, let's see here. What do we think of Tasos? Okay, I mean, so let me pull it up here. Just give me a second. So just in the interest of time, everybody, we'll just do a high level review on Tasos. Then for details, everybody can just go to tokenmetrics.com and read that on their own leisure. So right now we're bearish. Technology is good. Fundamentals is all right, but technical analysis is not so good on Tasos. That's XTZ. I was an investor in the ICO a while back. I got out of Tasos this year, actually, I believe. I sold, I basically held it until this year. Yeah. But that's our take on Tasos. Have you looked much into Tasos, Bill?
I have. I've got it right here.
Okay. All right. Let me let you take over.
Okay. So, when I look at this, right, it's pretty clear that people are trading some sort of flag formation in Tasos, right? And when it got through, when it got through this like 130 area, all right, everybody is, jumping in because it's breaking out of this big triangle that it was in here. Okay. So it looks like Tasos is a part of this group that we've been looking at where, people are they're FOMOing into it because it's going up. Right. Mm-hmm. And, Tasos may be at resistance, say, versus the dollar, say near 170 or 167. So, it's got a little bit more to run. Okay. If I owned Tasos, I might stick with it only because, other than put the money in your mattress, let it ride. So that's what I would say with Tasos. If the trend is your friend, leave it. But if it turns, you want to take some money. The term is called a trailing stop. So that's what I would tell you about Tasos.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So that's our take on Tasos. For the rest, just search for that on tokenmetrics.com. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. We got Carlson. Let me just go back to sharing my screen. Carlson's asking about Ethereum network. Hello, my name is Carlson from Netherlands. Are you a Laker Ethereum project? So I've not invested in Ethereum projects. We did look into their staking, and we think their staking program they launched is actually very unique because any ERC20 token can add staking to their cryptocurrency. So we're actually thinking of using that possibly with some projects we work with, just for full disclosure. Now we don't own any. I don't own any Ethereum tokens at the moment. We've not done an official review on it. They're way outside the top 100 in market cap, so it's a very small coin. But I mean, we'll definitely. So by the way, if anybody wants to suggest tokens for us to look at, the official way to send in tokens, go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com and submit your tokens. So if I just take off, so here we have, here are the coins people have submitted. So people so far have sent in CP Chain, Block Cloud, Constellation. So go in here and log in with your Tokenmetrics account, send in the tokens you want to look at, and those that the community votes on the most, we'll use that as a way to really sort through which ones we should start with first. So if you have a token that you want us to add to tokenmetrics.com, just go to feedback.tokenmetrics.com and send in your token. All right, with that being said, back to Ethereum. I mean, we can't really say much until we have done a deep dive, meaning going through the code, doing a code review, doing fundamental analysis and all that jazz. So until then, you just have to stay tuned, Carlson. But thank you for your question. All right. Have you looked into Ethereum, Bill, from a TIA perspective?
No, that hasn't hit the radar yet.
Yeah, I think they're also on a small exchange. So yeah, so for now, I think let's kind of leave the altcoin questions for submission. So just send those to feedback.tokenmetrics.com. Have other people vote on the different altcoins, and we can kind of cover that. Constellation, we did look into this one last time on the last live stream. They do have a partnership with the U.S. Air Force, which is pretty impressive, but we haven't done an official review on that as well. Okay, next question. Hey, this question, I actually like this question. So Ian Valina called himself the king of ICOs. Why did he disappear during the bear market after most of the projects he believed went down 90%? So first thing I want to say is, I wouldn't say I disappeared, but kind of what we mentioned earlier. Don't force the market. I mean, if there's no good trade or investment, then you don't want to force it. I mean, sometimes it helps to just keep your powder dry. And I wouldn't call it disappear. I was busy building tokenmetrics.com, which you guys can now see, because we began building this in November 2018, and it took us 1 year to build everything, find the right team, the right all-stars, people like Bill Noble, Paresh Mansani. I mean, just building a team. I would say rather, I didn't disappear. I was working. In 2018, we launched 100xadvisors.com. So we were working with clients, traveling the world, helping them with business development. And then 2019, we were building tokenmetrics.com. So we were building during the bear market because the market shifted. You couldn't just force a trade. If there was no good trade to do, it made sense to just keep your money, save your money, more importantly, and just be on the sidelines. So some people may have misconstrued that as us just hiding or disappearing. But I mean, I think you guys have seen the work we've put together, and that really just shows that we were busy building. But I mean, it's definitely a fair question, but I think it's a misconstrued question. All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Any last words, Bill, before you head out?
No. Again, it's always a pleasure to be here. Ian made money on the way up. and he's building what's next for the next up trade. So that would be my quick answer to that last question, and a great way to sign off.
All right. Thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure having you on.
All right, Ian, have a good week.
All right. So I'll hang on. And then there was one. So let's see. What other questions do we have here with our audience here? Let me find the next question. Okay, very interesting question here. Okay, this is not a question I really saw coming. Okay, so what's your take on the demise of the Gemini dollar? Okay, not sure why somebody's saying the Gemini dollar is going to have a demise. Let's pull up CoinMarketCap and take a look. I mean, has there been any news about it that I'm not aware about? Okay, Gemini dollar. Okay, so market cap is very, very small. So adoption is small. But I mean, Gemini dollar is, okay, so it's not just Gemini exchange. It does has some crappy exchanges that are trading it. It's not even listed on Gemini. They don't have the, hold on, that doesn't make any sense at all. So Gemini dollar is not trading on Gemini exchange. That's preposterous. They don't have their own cryptocurrency. I mean, so, I mean, that's why it's not doing so well as a stable coin. Now, Gemini as an exchange, it's a legit exchange. I mean, they're regulated in the New York license and everything, the BIT license, I believe it's called. The exchange itself is creme de la creme. Now, their stablecoin just has no adoption. And I think they haven't listed their own stablecoin because there's lots of uncertainty around even stablecoins being securities, according to the SEC. So I believe that's why they have not listed it. But I mean, I think that's pretty much it in terms of why it's not doing so well. Okay, next question. Hola, Bill. Oh, Bill. Okay, that's a question for Bill. Yeah, so the picture of Bill is definitely a younger picture. Bill is much older now, for sure. Okay. Okay, next question. Very good question. What percentage of my crypto portfolio should I hold in Bitcoin? Okay, once again, as usual, this is not financial advice. We're not investment advisors. We're not your investment advisor. All we can do is just share our research and how we would think for us, but definitely consult a professional when you're building your own investment portfolio. So if we go to tokenmetrics.com, and my strategy, if I had to build a portfolio, this is the reasoning I would use. This is for me, not for you, but this is how I would think. So maybe you guys could learn from that. So we would say we need to have more than 10 cryptocurrencies in our portfolio. Now, the reason I say, for me, if I'm building a portfolio, I would say 10, is you need to have a diversified portfolio. And based on the research on modern portfolio theory, having more than 10 diversifies your portfolio. And then when you add different cryptocurrencies into your portfolio, you need to make sure that they're cryptocurrencies that are not correlated. What does that mean? Correlation means that when something follows something by a particular percentage. So for example, if we look into Bitcoin, one of the good things that I like about Token Metrics is we have a tab in here that shows you what other cryptocurrencies correlate with that particular cryptocurrency. So in this example, we're looking at Bitcoin. So this tells us ZB, Link, which is Chainlink, TR, KCS, which is KuCoin, and HT, which is Huobi, I believe, are the top 5 cryptocurrencies that correlate with Bitcoin, meaning that when Bitcoin goes up, they also go up. So this is, correlation is measured from -1 to +1. +1 means it's highly correlated. -1 means it's inversely correlated, meaning it goes the opposite. So positive correlation with Bitcoin means that when Bitcoin goes up, they go up a similar percentage. So for example, don't quote me on this, but I believe if something is like, for example, Huobi has 89 correlation, meaning that for every one time Bitcoin goes up, like 89% of the time, it also goes up, something like that. Then negative correlation is the opposite. So let's say you think Bitcoin is going to go down. Then as a shrewd investor, thanks to tokenmetrics, you can say, okay, I want something that will go against the trend, something that's not going to follow Bitcoin. So in this example, you would look for cryptocurrencies that have the opposite correlation with Bitcoin, that don't follow Bitcoin. So meaning that if Bitcoin is going down, you want something that's going to go up when Bitcoin goes down. So looking at this says EDR, TCT, B2G, HDAC, waves. So these have the most negative correlation. So they don't follow Bitcoin at all. So when we're building a portfolio and we have more than 10 cryptocurrencies, we want most of them to not have any correlation with each other. So you want a portfolio that has no correlation. So I believe in modern portfolio theory, you want a portfolio that has a correlation that adds up to 0, meaning that you probably, when you add up the correlations for all the 10 cryptocurrencies, you want it to be neutral. I believe. Don't quote me on that, because I'm doing this off the top of my head. But this is what I was learning in my Series 65 exam to become an investment advisor exam. But anyway, so you want a portfolio with different assets that are not correlated. So that's the rule number 2. So rule 1, you want to have lots of cryptocurrencies. So having just one does not diversify you from a risk, because there's lots of other risks involved. Not just risk of losing your investment, but you have market risk, you have currency risk. So there's lots of other risks involved in investing that you have to factor all those in. So imagine, let's say you pick a good investment, but the whole market goes down. Market risk. Or let's say you pick a good investment, but when you convert from Bitcoin to the dollar goes up in value because the economy is doing well. That's a risk you have to account for. So there's even political risk, legal risk. I mean, right? Let's say the government come and just shut exchanges down. And Bitcoin was doing well, but if they do that, it's going to mess up everything. So lots of risks you have to factor in. So it helps to have a diversified portfolio, and to have a portfolio with correlations with assets that don't correlate with each other. So going back to the market here, so we pull this up. So if I had to pick 10 cryptocurrencies, I would go to tokenmetrics.com, sort by grade, and I would pick the top 10 at this point in time. So my portfolio would include 1, Bitcoin, 2, Ethereum. Actually, let me zoom in here. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Zcash, Binance, 0x, Neo, Maker, Cosmos, and Holochain. I would have minimum those top 10. And now, actually, sorry, not quite like this. This is just kind of me making things simple, but you start with this initial top 10, and then we would see the correlation of the portfolio. If, for example, if 4 of these coins correlate with Bitcoin, then maybe we should not put them in our portfolio, because we get the equivalence by just investing in Bitcoin. Or maybe let's say for some reason Zcash correlates with Bitcoin, but Zcash has room for more growth, then maybe we should not own as much Bitcoin, because we can get a better return with Zcash. These are the different things you have to kind of think about when you're building a portfolio. But to keep it simple, let's just assume that all these 10 don't correlate with each other. So we take those 10, and now we have to figure out the proper weights in our portfolio. Do we want to have 10% of each, or do we want to have 50% of Bitcoin and the rest? That's the $1 million question now. So For us, what we're trying to build is to let machine learning figure this out for us, because machine learning computers, AI, can run thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of simulations to find out what is the best portfolio allocation. Should we have 60% Bitcoin or 10% Bitcoin? Should we have 20% Ethereum or 30% Ethereum? So all these different things, we think this can be best done using simulation and machine learning. So that's something we've not built that yet. It's going to take a while. Right now, we just built a platform, but that's the vision we have of where we're trying to take tokenmetrics, because we want to automate this for users so that they don't have to think about this. But all I can say now is I would just do it based on in this order and based on the grade. So for example, Bitcoin should have the highest weight in your portfolio, followed by Ethereum, then Dash, then so on, until you reach Holochain. Meaning Holochain would have a lot less than Bitcoin. And that's really how we would go about it. Now, the weights is something that would take a long time, so not really going to get into that, but hopefully that answers your question. I know it did not get into everything, but I think it should answer most of the question. So what percentage of your portfolio should hold Bitcoin? Bitcoin should be the most in your portfolio. Whether that's 50% or more, it depends, but Bitcoin should be the most in your portfolio. That's all I can say for now. Good question. Okay. Okay, Sovereign has a 94% on tokenmetrics. Are you bullish? Would you invest? It does not have a 94%. That was an error, I believe, or actually our team was still entering that into tokenmetrics. So Sovereign does not. Let me see the updated grade. So Sovereign. So right, Sovereign, this is assuming they do an IEO. They had a private sale over a year ago and also raised money from equity investors. Technology-wise, man, wow. I mean, so people saying have dry powder, be on the sidelines. Obviously not financial advice, but Paresh Mansani, our developer from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Thomson Reuters, he loves the technology on Sovereign. The fundamentals, however, fundamental analysis is not quite there yet, but just looking at these two data points, we're definitely, as Tokenmetrics says, we are bullish on Sovereign officially. However, that does not mean go out on FOMO and buy. It just means it's definitely a project to keep an eye on. It's something to put on your watch list. There are a US company. So my guess is the only way to really create a token, being a US based company, is to follow the path Blockstack has done by getting qualified by the SEC. And from conversations to some early equity investors in Sovereign, I've been told that that's the path they're probably going to follow. I can't really comment anything else besides what I've just heard. But I mean, the tech is good. The technology is good. If you want to view the official research on the fundamentals and the technology, sign up at tokenmetrics.com. But Sovereign is definitely one to keep an eye on. You heard it here first. But that does not mean blindly buy. No, don't do that. Please do not do that. I mean, honestly, we've gone through so much in the last 1-2 years in crypto, in the bear market. Always do research. Just because something is bullish does not mean you blindly buy the top. No, guys, please do not do that. It just means keep an eye out on this. For those who don't know, Sovereign, I'll just read here, is a native blockchain built from the ground up specifically to be a privacy by design identity layer of the internet. So it's really it's a blockchain with a focus on identity and privacy. Definitely one to keep an eye on. I mean, technology is good, But just because the tech is good does not mean it's going to do well. So we have to keep that in mind. So if anything, nowadays, I would not, if you have lots of money to invest, I wouldn't even really get in early. I would just keep an eye on it, wait for it to launch on exchanges to see some price action. And then once we have the technical analysis score as well, we can factor in all those three to find the right opportunity to get in. And more importantly, also know when to get out, because you have to know when to enter, you have to know when to get out. Active portfolio management is the key. And for those who are subscribed to tokenmetrics.com, we'll be sending out an exclusive video from Bill explaining active portfolio management. It's about 5 minutes or so. We'll send that out in about a week or so. And then we'll also be sending out other exclusive videos from Bill, really walking you through how to think when it comes to investing in cryptocurrencies, how to think when it comes to building a portfolio. And Bill's coming from this with the mindset of somebody who's been on Wall Street. So having that Wall Street background, his experience from Goldman Sachs, Morningstar, Charles Schwab, bringing that expertise, that human capital, and giving us a better perspective to give everybody who's a customer of Tokenmetrics that edge. Okay, all right, so back to the AMA. Are ICOs, IEOs even worth it? There are several platforms doing the same thing. What are your thoughts on this? Good question. I do not think ICOs or IEOs are worth it. It depends on what platform or exchange you're on. But to be honest, I would not touch any IEO that's not on Binance. I mean, the only IEOs that have really been doing well have been on Binance. But even those have been hard to get into. But only the good projects like Matic Network, Elrond, and others. But I would always do your research. That's why we have an IEO section in tokenmetrics.com. So you want to find a great IEO that's happening on a great exchange. That's a marriage made in heaven. So to keep things simple, avoid the crappy exchanges. If the exchange is known for having lots of fake volume manipulation, don't touch that exchange. I know Gate has been having lots of IEOs that pump a lot, but I mean, I would question basically the projects suck. The projects they're IEOing suck. So it makes me really question, because here, let me kind of peel the curtain and tell you how IEOs work. So when projects raise funds for an IEO, most of that money, if not all of it, is going to the exchange to do market making. So it's really fundraising for market making. It's not really, most projects don't even touch that money. The money is just a GoFundMe for market making, meaning that as soon as the exchange has that money, they're going to dump all of it into pumping the price, which is really not regulated. So that's why in the US you don't see any IEOs in the US, because the SEC would close that in a heartbeat. So definitely be careful. Understand that you could be left holding a bag with IEOs. IEOs are dangerous, especially on a crappy exchange. So my advice, or rather my opinion, because this is not financial advice, my opinion would be, I personally have never done an IEO. That's mainly being because the allocations are very small, not even worth my time looking into just an IEO just to put in $200. I mean, to do what, a 3x or possibly lose the money, because I'm an angel investor and I invest, usually when I invest, I like to invest lots of money. But let's say you're a college student, okay? If you have less, or rather, if you're starting out with a small amount of money in crypto, IEOs are a great opportunity to possibly multiply your money, but you have to still do research. So filter out all the bad exchanges. Don't touch those, because they're pump and dumps. And if you are going to do an IEO, let's say despite all that, you still do an IEO, I would sell on the first day, probably the first 1 or 2 hours, because if you go back and look at the data, historically speaking, almost every IEO has been pumped the first few hours. Perfect example is Cody. Cody IEO on what? It was KuCoin, I believe. Yeah, Cody IEO on KuCoin did like a 20x the first 1 hour. Then it tanked. And now I think it's an ICO price or IEO price or even below that, because they took all that money, put it into market making, pumped the hell out of it. Once the money is gone, it's like pulling the rug out of the carpet and boom, wrecked. So, I mean, if you're playing the IEO game, it's like flipping hot pancakes. You flip it and keep on moving. I mean, you don't want to be left holding a bag, or rather it's like musical chairs. You don't want to be left when the music stops with no chair to sit on. You just fall on your butt. I mean, and that's a bad look. That is a bad look. So definitely be careful. Only, I mean, for us, our team, we only look at IEOs on the top exchanges. So our top exchanges, in our opinion, Binance, Huobi, KuCoin, CoinList is on there, and OKX. So basically exchanges with lots of volume. Now, just because we name those does not mean that they're not questionable with their tactics for IEOs. I mean, IEO is a short-term game. I don't think anybody should be holding an IEO for longer than 1 day. Now, when I say longer than 1 day, I mean your initial investment. So for example, let's say Cody does a 20x, sell your initial at the minimum, if not more. And then whatever left is on there is profit. Maybe leave some profit for the long term, but you definitely want to make sure you take out your initial investment ASAP. As soon as the first second is trading, you want to sell your initial. I mean, you don't want to risk any L's, no L's. I mean, you should not be taking any L's on an IEO, because as soon as it starts trading, they're putting in the first sell order, because as mentioned, projects raise funds. Those funds go straight to exchanges. The exchanges take that money, market making, i.e. manipulate the price, allegedly. Once they do that, you're there first in line selling. You should be selling within the hour, at least your initial investment. I mean, so if you cannot do that, probably don't even participate in the IEO. Otherwise, you're likely to lose money, because yes, there've been pump and dumps. That's why the hype has really died down. But more importantly, there haven't really been any good IEOs coming out. I mean, maybe that's because we stopped putting our IEOs in our old spreadsheet, because all the ones we had on there are the ones the exchanges picked. Because our team thinks people in those exchanges that were looking at our list to find out which IEOs to put in. But anyway, I mean, that's my take on that. I think very good question. I was rambling a lot, but hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so let's go back here and let's check out some questions from people on YouTube. Okay, all right. Let me. Okay, eDog says Binance is GOAT. So CZ been pumping. Pay CZ and he'll pump it. I sold my Matic. Cody is 0.2x. Wow, man, that's so down 80%. So it went from 20x to down 80%. Cody, Chromia, even Binance one like Perlin down 70%. Can I still get a discount on token metrics? Unfortunately, the discount on the last live stream did sell out. We did give out we gave away 64 free coupons that people used to get 1 year free worth of the investor plan. We can't give away any more plans for the investor, unfortunately. But maybe we can give away some other coupons. I mean, the only coupon I can really give away now is if you go to Token Metrics, you can get 10% off whatever subscription you put in. If you use the coupon Crypto Family, that's one word, all capital. So let me just type it in here. Crypto Family. That should get you 10% off. Okay, and this is not working. Why isn't this working? Okay, I have to reload my screen. Do I regret investing in Chromia? Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I mean, I have to look at my ROI. I mean, but even if I made money on it, it was not worth waiting 1 year just to make like a 1x or 2x. I mean, my money could have gone a long way doing something else. So that part I definitely do regret. Okay, let me type in the code. Crypto family. Okay, yeah, that's the code, crypto family. From Twitter, from Tweeting Tom. Ian, aren't ICOs dead forever? I would never say forever. I mean, never say forever. Or rather, never say never, because anything could happen. So I wouldn't say ICOs are dead, but they're dead for now, because markets go in cycles. So let me find that chart. This is a very famous chart. It talks about market cycles. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is really for business, but the same thing can be said here. Okay, this is from Seeking Alpha. How do I make this full screen? All right, so let's zoom in here. Okay, so Michael's moving cycles. You have bull markets and bear markets. So I wouldn't say never, because right now we're basically going through a bear market, but they can always come back with a new twist, similar to how people thought ICOs were dead. Then they got reinvented as IEOs. And now IEOs are out of favor. Guess what? After 6 or 12 months, somebody will reinvent the game, come out with something new that has taken the good part of IEOs and fixed the bad part, and it may be hot again. So never say never. Something always happens. Innovation always happens. So because of that, it's hard to say that they're dead forever and ever. I definitely recommend people look into this and just kind of learn how markets move. Markets always go in cycles. Matic is going to hit $2 next bull run. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that. Okay, next question. Okay, somebody said he made more than 10K in 2019. That's good. Congratulations. Congratulations to anybody who made that. Okay, somebody said, do you think Xenon, ZNN, is Jack Dorsey's company? Okay, I've not heard of this company at all. Let's take a look here. I'm not sure what he means. All I'm saying is, seems like some girl music group. Okay, let's Xenon cryptocurrency. Okay, Xenon network seems to be the. Okay, that network of momentum. I'm not even sure why he would mention Jack Dorsey. Is he on a team? Is there a menu here? Okay, maybe this is a troll. I mean, I never even heard of this project at all. So okay, let me just put in Xenon Jack Dorsey. Okay, nothing here. Okay, I'm not sure why that came up, but I doubt it's his company. I'm not seeing anything. Maybe if you're meant something else, just post in the comments and we'll take a look. Okay, he's saying people have been looking into this on Twitter. Okay, I haven't looked. I don't really follow crypto Twitter guys. I mean, the signal to noise ratio is not so good. lots of trolls. Most people aren't making money on Twitter, on crypto Twitter. Most people are trolls. So I don't really follow much of crypto Twitter, to be honest. Okay, somebody's asking about Holochain. Holochain review is on Tokemetrics. Okay, so top 5 altcoins not in the top 100 coins going into 2020. This is a good question. Unfortunately, this is a question we can't really answer. If you like that, you have to sign up for tokenmetrics.com. I mean, that's why the site is there. If you're not going to take advantage of that information, especially when we have a 14-day trial, then we can't really, I mean, it is what it is. The trial is there, so you guys can try it out. And if you like it, you can continue. But hey, if you subscribed and you're a customer, thank you. We definitely appreciate that. Let us know any feedback you have, positive or negative. We definitely have thick skin. We want to create a product that everybody loves. So our team is working every single day on this. I mean, it's a Sunday and we're here still working. And we did launch some new updates for those who have not been following. Where is that? Okay, just give me 1 minute here. I'm trying to. Okay, so if you go to feedback, what's new? We listened, and now people can sign up for Tokemetrics, the basic plan, without a credit card. So if for some reason you don't have a debit card or credit card, you can get the basic plan, which gives you access to all the info we have on Bitcoin, and it gives you the scores of the top 20 cryptocurrencies for free. So you can sign up. We last time this was posted, we had about 600 spots left. I believe they're less now. And now you can also apply coupons. So I did give away the coupon crypto family, one word, all capital letters, to get 10% off your order. So you can apply the coupons without having to hit pay to see. And then we also tell you exactly when your trial will be over and exactly when the first charge will happen. So this gives you a lot more room to plan for whatever you're doing. Okay. And then, yeah, so I talked about that and the trials. And you can also update your payment method now inside the app. So if you want to change cards or debit cards, that's also possible. All right. Well, I mean, that's that for updates. If we go back here to feedback we have received, if we sort by trending, so robo-advisor is planned, portfolio recommendation is planned, multiple portfolios will definitely plan. Yes, there is a bug right now where people cannot add tokens, so our developer is working on that. We expect that to be fixed hopefully early this coming week, so stay tuned. And yeah, if anybody else has any questions, customer support has been working hard. Just go to Tokemetrics down here, the chat. You can send in your questions. Our team goes through and responds. You see me, Sam, Azim. You can also do that directly on the site here as well. You can send in your questions. Or you can just help yourself. If you have any question, just search in here. If you have a question about, for example, let's say machine learning, just type in machine learning. We just put in all the resources we have, which kind of explain all the different things we're using. Or if you have a question on pricing, just use that. Okay, this one is not so helpful because crypto has pricing as well. Okay, you can just go to, okay, hold on, sorry. Let's put in pricing plan. All right, there we go. So this has the different things we have. Or let's say your question was on just the free trial. That should pull up, okay, that pulls up our question. And boom, everything is right there in the app. You can read the article, it walks you through everything. So we hope that helps you, because half of the questions we receive in customer support can be answered by just going to the help section. We're also working on a product tour that walks you through how to use the platform so that people know how to use it. We'll also be filming a short video walking people through that as well, because I know people love to watch video. But if you've been watching the live streams, you've kind of seen us use the platform. All right, so next question. Where can I get details on tokens from Trading Indicator? I mean, it's basically here. So I would say start off at the market page. So Trading Indicator is here on the left-hand side. So you can say, show me only tokens that have a trading indicator that says bullish. Now this is, yeah, okay, so I have to double check if this should be working. Okay, so I think this actually changed. Actually, hold on. So people have been asking what time frame this is. This is on the weekly chart. So this is more of a, actually, yeah, it's actually more of a long term as well. So we don't really use daily trading indicators on anything we do because we're not really day traders. Okay, hold on, sorry. Let me make this smaller. So we aren't really day traders. So we always have usually weekly all the way to longer time frames. So when all these trading indicators are looking at the last 7 days. So these are not for day traders. So yeah, I mean, actually, since we began this live stream, things have shifted here. So on the weekly, it's saying all these are bullish. But this is just one point of data. So we like to take everything into account. So if we look at the technical analysis as well, these are the cryptocurrencies in our system that have technical analysis scores. Now, technical analysis scores will never be perfect because trading is hard to be perfect. So it's definitely a lot more stricter. But if we pull up Bitcoin here, we can then go into the different indicators and see which ones. So right now it's actually, I think it's changed to bullish if it wasn't already. And it goes through and it tells you exactly which ones. So the 9-day EMA and the 200-day EMA are bullish for Bitcoin. And then we can look at the different oscillators. So force index is very bullish. Candlestick patterns, different customs, Ishimoku, for those who use that. So the idea for this is to help tell you what the technicals say without having to be a trader. But so because we have different models for everything, sometimes the models could be in conflict. So for example, this technical analysis is kind of giving more of a score for a longer term perspective, while the price prediction is just for the next 30 days. But sometimes they could actually be saying the opposite things, but still be saying the same thing, because you have to think about the perspective and the time frame. So for example, the price prediction is saying Bitcoin is not going to go up this month. It thinks Bitcoin is going to go down to 6,700. Now, people have been asking about this. We have more information down here at the bottom, but I'll just quickly explain this. So this is predicting a range. So you have a low score and a high score. Then it tries to predict somewhere in the middle, but it gives you a range of where the price can fall, because it's hard to, because crypto is very volatile. So here it's saying it thinks Bitcoin is going to start out at a range from 6,700 to 8,100 or so. Then the further out you go in the future, the wider the range goes, because it's very hard to predict. But it tries to still predict somewhere in the middle. So it's saying by January 1st, Bitcoin could be anywhere between 5,000 and 8,500. But it thinks it it's going to be somewhere between 6,700. So hopefully that makes sense. And then for transparency, it shows the accuracy and all these different terms. These definitions and these terms come from stats. This is the root mean square error, and this is the mean average error, mean absolute error. Right. So mean absolute error is an average of the absolute errors. So this is used in forecast. And the root mean square is a standard deviation of the residuals or the prediction errors. Not going to get too deep into that. Just check Wikipedia for what those terms mean or read a stats book. This is what our data science team does. But yeah, I mean, so for example, Bitcoin could be bullish even though it's going down, because if it's about a bottom, so the price, so for example, a common saying is buy when there's blood in the streets and sell when there's exuberance. It's meaning that buy on red days and sell on green days or green candles. So that could be conflicting to a beginner. But if you think about it, you want to buy low, which could possibly mean that prices are going down. If you're a long-term investor and you're planning to sell high, you're planning to sell the top, because the last thing you want to do is buy the top and sell the bottom, right? That's what leads to capitulation, and we definitely want to avoid that. But hopefully that helped answer your question. Okay, let's take a look here. Tariq, thanks, Ian. Subscribe to the basic plan. Hey, thank you. Must be true. Twitter is the biggest waste of time. Nothing but people who complain or troll. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Twitter, but hey, if you're watching this on Twitter, we still love you. We still love you. Those watching on Periscope. All right, so we explained that. What happened to one chain and Quick Chain? I mean, altcoins aren't doing so well. Okay, next question. With Dash being number 3 on your metrics, what do you think the future price of Dash will be with their expansion in Latin America and Dash platform, Dash Pay, etc.? Unfortunately, we can't really give a future price. The only thing we can do is have our machine learning give a 30-day prediction, but that's the furthest out we go. We can't really predict down the road, but you can bet that if we have Dash, or rather if the system has Dash as a good cryptocurrency, look at this. So fundamentals, good. Technology, good. Technicals are just not there right now, but trading indicators showing it is bullish. So overall though, grade-wise, we think it's the 3rd best currency to have in a portfolio based off of this. Now, this is definitely a conservative system with a long-term outlook, not for day traders or flippers. So this does not mean buy Dash looking for a quick flip, no. But for something that, because the idea is to filter out all the scams, because 2019, 2018, people have gotten wrecked from altcoins. So you definitely want to filter out the scams. You want to find projects that have real value. And Dash is one of those. It was an early fork of Bitcoin, added faster transactions and privacy. It's actually, maybe let's pull this up here. Formerly known as Dark Coin, privacy-centric digital currency with instant transactions. Okay, if we go to price predictions, I mean, it's not so good. December outlook is not so good in general. So, I mean, that kind of is kind of aligned with that. Okay, next question. How can we use token metrics to not miss out on the next synthetics, which did over 50x this year? I mean, so looking at synthetics, that has a good technology grade. So we have it here as 6th best technology from our developer. So, I mean, it would have been hard to not miss that. Because imagine if tech grade is good, when the technicals would have aligned, this would have really gone up. The score would have gone into the 70s, and our system would have picked that up. That's the power of research. So with tokenmetrics, we're really automating your research. I mean, so imagine if you could have had a chance to make a 50x return on synthetics due to tokenmetrics. I mean, when you put it in that perspective, signing up for tokenmetrics investor plan, professional plan, isn't so expensive, especially considering we have the 50% lifetime discount if you sign up now for 1 year. So the way I would do it is I would come in here, look at tokens with these grades, okay? So right now we have these projects, Holochain, Cosmos, Eternity is one to keep an eye on. But let's say you're just a trader. You can even just come in here and say, add in filters, buy bullish. Or you could just sort by technical analysis grades and just look for projects that, this could be kind of your quick watch list for projects to do TA on. So maybe you start doing TA on Beam, Gas, Raiden, PinDX, Bitcoin. Or maybe you can say, I don't want any bad projects, so I want to filter out and look at projects with a grade, fundamental grade over 70. Hold on, I think I have to put in decimals. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, sorry, not equal to, greater than or equal to 70. There we go. Then same thing here, I want something that is greater than or equal to 70. All right, so this has taken out almost all the trash, all the garbage. We've cleaned out the garbage. So now, as opposed to looking at 100 or thousands of cryptocurrencies, we're only looking at the ones that have good fundamentals and good technology. Does not mean perfect, does not mean it's going to the moon. It just means that you know this project is likely not going to exit scam you based on our team doing research on them. So now looking at this, you say, okay, which ones are bearish? If you're trying to short, maybe these are the ones you short. Or if you're looking to go long, maybe these are the ones you go long on. Okay, so here we see Bitcoin, Stellar, Dash, Zcash, Golem. Okay, Golem Network. Maybe that's one we should look into. So this is really how this becomes a great tool for you to do your research, because we have all the data and the analysis. You just come in here, and depending on what you want to do, we just filter through. So, I mean, we think this is a powerful tool. If this can help you find good projects to make money on, it becomes priceless. But I'll stop there. Okay. We may have to wrap this up soon. Were you paid for Richard Hart interview? Chico Crypto said you were paid. Okay, I have no idea what the hell Chico Crypto is talking about, but I mean, I already sent my lawyer after Chico Crypto once. I mean, if he's talking again, talking lies, I'm gonna have to send my lawyer after him again. I mean, because not sure where the hell is getting this info from. No, I was not paid for the interview by Richard Hart. Not even sure where the hell Chico Crypto gets his bogus information from. But if anybody has the link to that, please send that to me. I'd like to take a look at that and definitely send that to our legal team, because we cannot have people spreading lies. That interview, I mean, look at it. I mean, if anybody who's watched the interview, it clearly says that I would not invest in the project. But I go through it and kind of explain the points. And I definitely make a good reason as to why. I definitely recommend everybody goes and watches the interview. Let me see if I can pull it up here with Richard Hart. But I mean, Chico Crypto is definitely, he is BS. I mean, he talks a good game online, but he's BS. But I'll stop there. Let me put in Richard Hart. Hi, Belina. Okay, yeah. So the interview I had with him actually. Yeah, so this is the interview on his channel. Almost 12,000 views. It was a live stream. I'll also be posting this onto our podcast as well. But I mean, it was probably the best interview out there. So people, other YouTubers, you have to understand the way they think, right? Because Chico Crypto does not really do any fundamental analysis, any technical analysis. He doesn't do any analysis at all. His whole game is just to clickbait people into watching entertainment. He's basically like Saturday Night Live. Because he cannot do in-depth analysis like this on a project, he likes to make fun of and attack anybody who's actually doing deep research on a project. Now, for me, I did deep research to end up saying that this is not a project we would touch or invest in. I mean, we even showed the score here on our system. We're bearish on this. Now, however, they're doing an airdrop. The free claim, you cannot lose money on that. Anybody who has Bitcoin, if you have Bitcoin in your portfolio, that is free money. I mean, so I don't see anything wrong in claiming that money, selling the same day on an exchange. Just like people had issues with Bitcoin Cash fork airdrop and those Bitcoin airdrops. Anytime I would see those on an exchange, because exchanges like Binance would handle the fork for you. So if you had, like, I know one time I was sitting in a bunch of altcoins that were not going anywhere. So for Bitcoin Cash, I sold all those crappy altcoins to Bitcoin, increased my Bitcoin position so that when the fork airdrop happened, I got a whole bunch of Bitcoin Cash and I sold that the same day, never looked back. I left all the way to the bank. So when people are making fun of Bitcoin Cash, I don't have any Bitcoin Cash. I made money on it. They can never take that away from me. So that's kind of the perspective I have on the airdrop. They won't call it an airdrop. They call it a free claim, but it's just semantics. I mean, fundamentals are not good. Technology initially is not good. We want to do a deeper dive because that's what we do. So we did reach out to the team to try to speak to the core developers. But our concerns with that project is the developers are anonymous. And then two, the GitHub history is not very good. So the code and their reputation is not so good. And the fundamentals of the team, we don't really see any all-stars on the team. Richard is a great marketer, but the team is pretty much an unknown team. And then we have a concern with the origin address. The origin address in a smart contract, nobody knows who controls that. And it's basically an ICO. They're just not calling it an ICO because people can send funds. Right now, they've received over $3 million in Ethereum to that address, and people end up getting an equivalent worth in hex tokens. I think it's 10,000 hex per one BTC. So, I mean, we can disagree with the project, but we can elaborate on exactly why we disagree, which is crucial. People like I almost call them Crypto Chico. People like Crypto Chico over here cannot do that because they don't do actual analysis. They just say it's a scam. Because with us, we're in the research business, and our job is not just to blindly call everything a scam. Our job is to elaborate on exactly why this is a bad investment and exactly why we think something is a good investment. That's the business we're in. And that's why we've built a large reputation doing that. But people like Crypto Chico over here, all they can do is just throw out anything. They could say the moon is brown, the moon is pink, and they don't have to listen to anything or even back up their claims. That's why they're saying this BS. I mean, show me the proof. Show me what proof he has. Because, I mean, first of all, we're in the process of getting licensed with the SEC and everything we're saying. So we're doing everything by the book. We even have a disclosures page. I mean, just look at this, guys. Look at this. We have a disclosures page that lists every single token in our portfolio and every single company that has paid us. I have my holdings here. I have my past advisory roles. Crypto Chico does not even have that last time I checked. If he has that, please let me know in the comments below. But I mean, because I know he's been shilling a bunch of altcoins in the bear market to get by. Because I've seen him talk about products like Energy and others, all these other influencers and YouTubers. They're getting paid and they don't even tell you that. They don't tell you that at all. So if anything, I think people should reflect the mirror onto Crypto Chico and ask him, who exactly has paid you? What projects and tokens have paid you? And watch him cower. But anyway, that's my rant. I'm done on that. On to the next question. Okay, which indicator suits best for crypto technical analysis beside MACD, RSI, or volume? I mean, that's subjective. It's hard to say. Different traders use different ones. I mean, I'm not really in the trading business. That's why I automated this because I mean this is a question more for Bill. But one thing most traders do look at is the EMA, especially the 200 EMA, the golden cross. I know some traders who leverage the Ichimoku one a lot. I know some who also leverage candlestick patterns. So for example, one of the cool things, Tokenmetrics tells you which candlestick patterns are happening. So you don't have to be an expert at this, guys. This is how easy it is. So this is telling us a bearish spinning top has happened. So for the different candlestick charts down here at the bottom. So this is automated TA. This is really as simple as it gets. So those are the ones I can really name. But for me, overall, I just look at the overall trading indicator and also at the technical analysis. All right. Can't really answer this question about Matic. Did we look into reserve? Not yet. Okay, all right. So I think we're going to wrap up there. This show is coming up to about 2 hours. Bro, you're full of crap. Why interviewed Richard Hart? I mean, because we're doing in-depth research, right? And when you're doing research, you don't just blindly block off and act ignorant. You actually do research. If the research ends up saying, okay, this is a bad investment, then it's a bad investment. But that does not mean you just blindly have tunnel vision. That's how you end up missing the next 100x investment. I mean, because just think about it. How many people blindly wrote off Bitcoin as a scam? They missed out on the biggest investment opportunity of their lifetime. I mean, so because we're not in the business of being ignorant, we're in the business of doing in-depth, thorough research. Yes, our investment track record is not perfect, but despite all the fun, people make fun of us, Sparkster, Resistance, whatever, our success rate is still one of the best in the industry, okay? And that's how we learn, that's how we get better, okay? The reason we get so good at our research is because we look in depth at everything, even the scams. That's what allows us to get better. You can't improve if you just blindly block off anything you're doing, right? Like for example, with Hex, yes, we said it's not a good investment, but we know exactly why. The why is where money is made. Because when you know the why, you know what to avoid, and you also know what to invest in and get in. That's why because when you do your research and you find a project nobody else has seen, I mean, nobody. Like back in 2017, how do you think we found Wabi? How do you think we found Icon? because we knew our research process, we knew what to look for. And when nobody else believed, we believed. You have to be the first, sometimes you have to be the first person to believe. Sometimes you have to be the first money in, the first check. When you do that, I mean, this is a full-time job for us. We're full-time professional investors. Yes, we do YouTube videos, but unlike Crypto Chico, we're professional investors. That's what professional investors do. They professionally invest. They invest for a living. Okay, so this is our job. That's why we have a big team. We have a team from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, looking at these projects. Like right now, I didn't just say Hex is a scam. We had our blockchain developer, who was executive director at Goldman Sachs and in global investment research, look at the actual code and tell us why this code is not good. Okay, because we have to be able to justify everything we're saying. And Crypto Chico and other influencers who are not professional investors, they cannot justify what they're saying. That's why the interview with Peter McCormick that he had with Richard Hart was BS, because he just kept yelling scam, scam, scam. He couldn't really elaborate on his points because he hadn't done any research. If you go into the interview and watch the interview we had, you can see we had pinpointed questions showing that we had actually looked into this before we did the interview. And we knew exactly what to ask. But anyway, that's my rant on that. Please reduce the music volume. What music? Oh, this music?
We just landed on the
Not sure if you guys can hear that. Okay, any advice on what to learn or study for a career in blockchain? Study our videos. I mean, we know lots of people who are watching our videos ended up getting jobs in the blockchain space, whether as investors, working for funds, developers, advisors, consultants, marketing, what have you. Just study our videos. Then I would say read books on blockchain. Read Digital Gold, The Age of Cryptocurrency. What else have I read on? I would say those are probably the two best books. Bitcoin Billionaires is also pretty good. The one about Charlie Shrem and the Winklevoss twins. Yeah, that Chico dude is fluff, trying to pump a career. Oh, hey, Matt is transparent. Yeah, oh, hey, Matt is transparent. He's the homie. Calm down, Ian. I'm sorry, guys, but he got me fuming because the reason I got heated, I apologize, is because people like that throw out lies and never have to back them up. They have a huge platform. They put out lies, but never have to back them up. But more importantly, what may piss me off even more is my lawyer, he put me on an earlier video and we sent my legal team after him and he said he wouldn't do it again. He took down the video, said he wouldn't do it again. If he's doing stuff like that again, we're gonna have to send our legal team after him again because I don't tolerate that BS, unfortunately. But anyway, I think it's a wrap. Once again, thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure. I definitely recommend you go to tokenmetrics.com and sign up if you haven't. We have 14-day free trial, and we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So that's really 44 days to try out the product. If you like the product after 14 days, then the charge happens. But if you don't like it, if you cancel before then, it's free, nothing. And then if after 30 days you still have an issue, don't like it, just contact customer support and we'll give you a refund. So you really have nothing to lose. It's a great way to do your research because 2020, we're very optimistic. I mean, we've been through a lot, 2018, 2019, but we think there are still ways to make money. As somebody mentioned earlier, synthetics did allegedly, what, 50x this year? That used to be Haven. I almost invested in Haven. I invested because back in 2017, it was a Hall of Fame. Then they tried to take advantage of us and increase the cap by, I think, 15 million after we had them as Hall of Fame. And we're like, what the hell? So and we ended up throwing them under the bus. I definitely do apologize for that now. But our team has looked into it. Tech is good. But more importantly, that goes to show there's 2 ways to make money this year: synthetics, Chainlink, Matic network. So yes, while people are on the sidelines or losing money, there's still money-making opportunities out there. And the idea is for us to find them. And we can only find them if we do our research, and we have research tools like tokenmetrics.com, and we can't go in there blind. If you have blinders on and you're calling everything a scam, you're saying the entire market is going down, altcoins are crap, then you'll never see opportunities like this to make money. You'll never get those 100x returns. It's that simple. I mean, that's why Crypto Chico has never made 200x returns. He's never even made 380x returns. We even made money in 2018. We had Pundi-X, did over 15x, especially with that monthly airdrop. We had Loom Network, did over 10x, and some others. Mainframe did what, over 10x return, I believe. So we were still making money in 2018. So yes, we had bad investments. Yes, Sparkster went to zero, Resistance went to zero, MetaHash is not doing so well. But all in all, putting everything in perspective, we still made money. I mean, Matic Network, we discovered them 12 months back in India. That was the best IEO of the year. And despite all the haters out there, nobody got into Matic earlier than we did. I mean, or rather, nobody discovered Matic earlier than we did. Imagine if because there are winners of our Crypto World Tour in Hyderabad, India. Imagine if they were there and I was like Crypto Chico, I said, oh man, it's a scam. It's Indian scam. No, I mean, our team is doing research on every project. We put our prejudices aside. We don't go into anything with any assumptions. We always start with a clean slate. And that's how we find projects early, like Aron, Matic, Harmony, all projects we discovered. So now 2019 is almost a wrap. We're going into 2020. We're going to be doing more research. We have a bigger team. We've scaled up our operations. Now we can share this with everybody on our platform at scale, but more importantly, only to the people who are subscribed on Tokenmetrics, only the believers. So that's why we have a weekly email list we're sending out. We have videos we're putting out. Hopefully you guys liked our Altcoin Friday video we sent out to people via email. Bill was walking through different altcoins and doing TA. And then we'll be sending out a video on how to do active portfolio management and what that means. And we're creating now a course on different videos. So we'll have Bill doing a video each week and sending that out only to people who are subscribed to Hodler and above. So I definitely recommend you sign up now. Once again, the coupon code to get 10% off, Crypto Family. That's one word, Crypto Family, all capital letters. So until next time, we'll end up by saying, the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Hodl.